How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Jolly Geek. Welcome back to the channel for another review of this week's comic books. And this week I'm joined by the main man, the head of the nerds. We've got Phil from Phil's Nerdyverse. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. You're always very complimentary. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah. Just trying to inflate your ego a little bit, you know.
Just
So you come back. Are you well, mate? Are you well?
I'm all good. Today was probably it's the first sunny day we've had in Northern Ireland in about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I took myself off to the beach, some fish and chips, some ice cream, a bit of a walk around the rocks. So I'm well relaxed, but we'll say relaxed. I'm shattered, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, I was out till late last night, so we had, again, it's been peeing down constantly here, but we had an open air theatre show kind of thing going on last night, and I was friggin' dreading it because it was teeming it down, and I thought the last thing I want to be doing is playing around in the clots and the mud and all the rest of it, but actually it worked out all right. It was canny.
It looked good from your Instagram pics and stories.
Yeah, it was good fun. It was a good laugh. Okay, Phil. So we'll crack straight on. A few things to kind of channel notices to go through before we kind of get on to the meat and bones of the reviews. So just a few things I want to mention. First of all, whole host of shows from last week for you to check out. We did with DC, kind of top scenes, which was great fun. Enjoyed doing that one, so check that out. I did a little review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. You seen that one yet, Phil?
Yes, I seen it on Tuesday, so I haven't watched the video yet, but I was great. It was so good.
Yeah. You see, I'm pleased you've said that because some people commented on my video and directed us to other reviews, and there's a lot of negativity out there about it in terms of, the Turtles were too young and April's the wrong colour and, all that kind of cack, and I just loved it.
Whether or not, did you enjoy yourself for that 1 hour, 30 minutes of the movie? That's it. Yeah. And did your kids enjoy it? Do you enjoy it? Do the people around you enjoy it? That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Stop dissecting things too much.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I came out having had a great time. I thought it was mint. We did 2 episodes of This Is My. We did Empire Toys and 1/6 Figure Focus. We need to get you on that show, Phil. I've got some quite big name comic book people coming on that in the next few weeks. I'm not going to announce them just yet, but we've got some. So if comic books are your thing, I'm expecting to have some pretty impressive guests on. So
I'm half expecting to announce Todd McFarlane or something.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be a great show. Imagine he'd be able to show off, all his collectibles. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, can you imagine? Christ, some of the people. I was thinking the other day, I watched a documentary about Nicolas Cage, and he's got a dinosaur. Do you know what I mean? The man's got a dinosaur in his front living room or something.
I could be wrong, but is he not one of the ones? He was obviously meant to be the Superman back in the mid-90s. I think he has a big collection of Action Comics from the get-go and stuff, and he has books that are worth millions of pounds probably.
So he had, I don't know if he still has, but he had loads, and then some of the big name books he had got stolen. Yeah, so I think he lost an Action Comics #1 and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, and obviously Nicolas Cage, geeky out here, he's really a Coppola, isn't he? But he's changed his name to Nicolas Cage because he loved the Nick Cage character from the Marvel Comics.
Is that the reason? I know he's related to Francis Ford Coppola, but I didn't realize he was Nick Cage because of the comics.
Yeah, he changed his name for Luke Cage. Sorry, so yeah, he named his daughter Kal-El or something, or his son Kal-El. Can't remember. Anyway, yeah, so lots of interesting stuff to go and check out if you're interested. If you like action figures, I've got a whole host of videos out about 1/6 scale figures. This week, I'm unboxing a Colossus figure, which is pretty cool. I like that one. We've got a Boba Fett. So yeah, a few videos in that little nest of the world if you're interested in those. Monday night, so this Monday, we're doing our regular Spotlight show, and we're going to be looking at all things Turtle. We're going to be talking about their history, media appearances, merchandise, and recommending some reads. Because I think everybody that's on the show has seen the recent Turtle movie, we're probably going to do a bit of a deep dive and a review of that movie as well. So check that out if you're into titles. Ben and James T. Keegan did their It's Not That Bad review of Spider-Man 3 yesterday, so please do check that out. Interesting show. James trying to defend that piece of shit movie. So yeah, I think he tried.
I mean, hold on, it's okay. I'm in James's camp with this. It's okay.
Yeah. It's not that. Would you say it's not that bad, Phil? Is that what you would say?
Not that bad, exactly. You're right.
Also, alongside that, we had Luke going live over on Rob's Fat Stacks channel, showing off all of his CGC books. So go check that one out as well. That's over on Rob's Fat Stacks. Always a good show to watch. As ever, I've got a shout out to the UK live stream community. This week in Metropolis on Tuesdays, they're having their little vacation at the moment, their little break, but they'll be back soon. And we've always got the Nerd Herd on a Wednesday. What are you reviewing this week, Phil?
It is my pick this week. We are reading and reviewing Do a Powerbomb from Daniel Warren Johnson. Have you read that, Pete?
I have. You're going for that top spot, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's what you're going for. Yeah, Do a Powerbomb is superb.
Although,
I mean, it is. Don't get us wrong.
No,
I'm not. I'm not dissing it. I'm thinking of some of the people on your panel. I'm wondering if the faces will suit. I think Shane might. Some of the artworks a little bit.
Shane really not to say disliked. He didn't like the Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Yeah,
because he's used to Wonder Woman looking a certain way, which is fair.
Yeah.
I get that, but he did like the Daniel Warren Johnson whenever we done Extremity. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah,
It's really not a good book. That so I'm thinking it's going to be okay. I'm okay with it.
Be interesting to see if you dethrone me from my top spot.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Swine. And then on Thursday night we've got the Killer Comic Show. Those guys are always bringing fun and games, so please do check them out. And on Saturday we've got Grey Man doing his Cover Slingers show. So again, another great show. Please do go check that out. Okay, just before we get into the books, let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got StreamYard. Thank you for joining StreamYard. We've got my pal Deadman. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. We've got Jack. Always nice to see you, Jack. We've got Comic Lads. Comic Lads, Simon. So, Phil, you may have heard that we do, every now and then, we do a little book review thing on GP Venom's channel.
Uh-huh.
And Simon's picked the book, and it's Fathom, which is, have you read it?
It's like, what is it?
It's shit. That's what it is. It's like 9 issues I've got to read. I've started flicking through. Basically, it's just water boobs. That's all it is. Just it's a woman Aquaman. But yeah, so Simon's picked that one. So that's going to be interesting. And speaking of him, we've got GP Venom. Thank you for joining, GP. GP Reminders is your show Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to say Tuesday, 8 o'clock, but let me know in the comments. We've got James T. Keegan. Ayo, indeed, my friend. We've got the one and only Fuzzy of the Dunlop. I hate social media when a new movie comes out. Everyone thinks their opinion carries weight. Guess what? Nobody really cares, and your hot take is actually trash. Absolutely, Fuzzy. Absolutely, mate. Fuzzy, have you seen it yet? Because I know you're a big Turtles fan. It's well worth going to see, bud. I don't know if you hit the cinema very much. But yeah, it's worth checking out. Who else we've got? James is saying a bit harsh. I think he's talking about Spider-Man 3. He's going to put some dirt in the eye. Deadman, Luke was great. Yeah, it was a good show, mate. It was a good show. Well worth checking that one out. Comic Lad Simon, don't diss it yet. It's not review time. Simon, I think everybody that watches this channel read comic books. So I think they probably already know it's a dog shit book. Do you know what I mean? So there's no surprises there for anyone.
GP's now going to bring in some rules after this, like where they can veto your pick.
Yeah.
If it's trash, nope, sorry, not doing
it. Yeah. I mean, do you know what? I might be absolutely surprised. It might be stunning. Yeah, we'll see. We've got 20 people watching. Please do hit that like and subscribe button. Please make sure you go and check out Phil's Nerdyverse. I was going to say on YouTube. You don't do videos that much, Phil, but it's worth checking out the channel, isn't it?
Yeah, there's old videos that aren't very good, but I'm mainly on Instagram myself, or like say the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club, or just the Nerd Herd YouTube channel. That's where you'll find me, and I do intend to do more videos on that channel, hopefully.
Good stuff. Fuzzy saying, Pete, you won't be surprised. I'm presuming by that you mean you've not been to the cinema, Fuzzy. Okay, Phil. Let's talk some comics. I'm not sure what you have and haven't read this week, so just chip in and let us know. Night Terrors. We've been wading through these books for what feels like forever now. Have you read any of these ones?
To be honest, like the first slide, no. I had every intention of reading the Night Terror stuff. The only one I actually got around to reading was the Batman. Night Terrors book. But I read the first ones of these, and I didn't care for them. I had no interest. And to be fair, with the Batman one, the numbers 2 kind of saved it in a way. So maybe these, the second issues will save the kind of series as a whole. But
no,
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we'll talk about the Batman in a second. Ravager continued exactly the same theme. I don't know the character of Ravager, so perhaps that's why I'm at a disadvantage. She was getting chased by the Murder Man, who I presume is a nightmare version of Deathstroke, who's her father. At the end, she wakes up, but a bit of the Murder Man, a bit of his blood comes into our reality, and it looks like it's going to create a new character there. It was all right. It was no flash. Poison Ivy's just friggin' awful. But again, because I don't know the characters, the art was shocking in it. Really weird bug eye kind of things. Not a one for me. And Black Adam was all right. Basically, Black Adam goes through a whole kind of host of turning to and from Teth Adam and fighting different versions of gods who are kind of weighing up whether he's good or bad and all the rest of it. And by the end of it, when he wakes up, he's actually destroyed his home city. Is it Kandar? Kandar, I think.
Yeah.
He's wrecked it in kind of his dream state. James T is... Sorry, bud, what are you saying?
I was going to say, see that cover for Poison Ivy? That's making me feel the ick. What's that thing where it's like you have this fear, like holes?
Yeah.
I can't think of what it's called at the minute, but there's all these memes and pictures on the internet of like random things that have holes in it.
So do you know what? You're saying that because I got freaked out. Was it last year or the year before? Can't remember. But you see your eye socket there. There was this kind of thing going around, this meme video or whatever it was, and it had that this was someone's wound on a leg or something, and it had been infested, and it was that kind of a shape, and there was stuff coming out of it, like little black things coming out.
Yeah, like
honestly,
or something.
It fucked me up for ages because I couldn't get it in my head.
That's what I'm talking about, like that. I can't
think
there's a name for it.
Yeah, but then it was revealed that was just a plant. It was some kind of plant that somebody, but yeah, horrible. James, the art depends which book you're reading. The art in Ravager is fine. Art in Poison Ivy's not for me, and the art in Black Adam was all right. Fuzzy saying, no, I mean, you won't be surprised by Fathom. Yeah. Fuzzy.
Never heard of it.
Cacking, it's going to be cat. Water boobs. I think the Poison Ivy covers have been some of the best so far. In terms of creepiness, Fuzzy, I think you're right, mate. I think for me, this series was supposed to be about nightmare fuel. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff that's scary and makes you go, so Poison Ivy does its job there. But I mean, now I'm hungry, dead man. Her eyes and tongue look like pizza. Yeah. But yeah, not the best. Not the best. Moving on. Right then, Phil, you've read this one.
Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
You didn't? Maybe it's Batman. Maybe that's why I actually enjoyed it. Again, with the ones we've read, with like the main, like Wonder Woman, with Superman, and with Batman, like they feel like they're in control to some extent of the nightmare.
Yeah.
And I really like this one. Delving more into kind of Batman's fears, but he doesn't really have fears, not afraid of it type of thing. Obviously, it's going to bring you back down to Crime Alley and so on. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst, and I think I actually read 1 and 2 together. And that was my intention for the rest of them. And I think when you read them together, you're getting a more. You're getting, I suppose, what the creators want you to get out of it. And I really like the art, by the way. I like Gilliam March.
Yeah,
is the name. Yeah. I like the art. It was good.
I mean, I thought, you're probably right. It was probably the best out of the bunch, and I'll explain why in a second. But I thought it was okay. Didn't blow us away. What confused us? I don't know if you read the Harley Quinn issue last week or the week before, but in her nightmare, she kind of crossed into the multiverse. And then in Batman's nightmare here, he's seen different versions of him from the multiverse as well. So I'm not sure, are the dreams breaching kind of the barriers of the multiverse or what? I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
I think, again, just what I like the best in terms of what when obviously went through and saying what Batman's afraid of, and he's really not afraid of anything apart from, what was it, like he met his younger self on the day his parents died, and he feared that like he let himself, his younger self, down. That's his fear essentially. Also, yeah, you see some of the Batman characters from the multiverse there, but I don't know. It's if I start to think too much about the Night Terror stuff, you either make yourself really dumb or really confused, because it's still trash overall.
It makes no sense, does it? Now, in this Batman book, I'll tell you what saved it for me was the follow-on story with Arsenal. I really, really like this. I thought this was a really good story. So this was Arsenal in Black Canary in a little kind of story called Don't Miss, where basically they're wading through a swamp and there's zombie versions of Arsenal trying to get them. And his fear was all of the stuff he's missed with his daughter, which I just thought was lovely, you know? And again, some of the imagery I thought was really cool in terms of the zombie effect and the Black Canary's mouth and all the rest of it. I just quite enjoyed that one. That was like a proper nightmare to me.
So I thought Arsenal was dead.
I have to be honest, I am completely lost off with Arsenal in terms of the current continuity. I haven't got a frigging clue. Because in the old DC, he got blown up in his city, his daughter died, he got his arm chopped off and went mental, didn't he?
Even I don't know where he stands now. I think more recently, did Wally West not kill him in the Heroes of Crisis?
Awful. Yeah, but then did they not all come back or something?
But Wally West kind of brought him back, but had to kill him again, essentially, I think, from what I remember, to try and tie up the loose ends or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something like with DC, I get completely lost with what they're trying to do and what their continuity is.
Yeah, well, maybe he must have got better, because here he is in this book, so he probably got over it. You know what I mean? He'll be dead again next week, don't worry.
Probably.
But I thought that was a decent little story. I quite enjoyed that one. Oh. Adventures of Superman, John Kent. Did you read this one, Phil?
I have no interest. I don't know why. I read the first run of the John Kent stuff. I actually liked it, and then whenever they brought this 6-issue mini.
So this is by Tom Taylor. I have not read loads of his work, but I really quite enjoyed this series. It had a good storyline in terms of Ultraman killing other versions of Superman, and then they ended up in the Injustice universe.
Yeah.
And we've built up over the last few issues of this big kind of conflict. Last issue's cliffhanger was Injustice Superman had had Batman and I can't remember who else on the knees and was about to execute them in front of live TV kind of thing. So it was built up as this great big battle that was about to happen. John takes out every member of the Justice League kind of individually in one or two panels. Guess how he tackles and beats Superman, who's about to murder everybody?
Tell me, please.
He gives him a big old hug. He literally flies into him and gives him a hug. And then he gets sent home. And that's it.
I think this is the thing. With the previous run of the John Kent stuff, it was Tom Taylor on it as well. Like, they kind of made it so that, yes, he is, Superman's son or Kal-El's son. He's also Lois Lane's son. So he said, like, you're going to be better than me than I ever was. You're going to be the best of us type of thing. And I like that idea that he can do things a bit differently.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use quote, made him a bit softer. He was dealing things more like diplomatically.
Yeah.
Coming and fighting, and that's grand. And I liked it. But yeah, I'm sorry if you're in the midst of a battle, you don't hug your opponent and everything's all nice and rosy. No.
I guess I understand what they were aiming for in terms of the sentiment and what they were kind of trying to portray, but yeah, it felt like a bit of a letdown for the series, and then literally after he's hugged him, he gets sent home. So it was a shame, because I do like the character, and I like you say, I like his power set, because in this book he seems to have all kinds of, he's got the old Superman blue electric powers and things, and I'm sure he says at one point he's more powerful than Superman in this. He knows he's stronger than Superman, which is quite cool. I quite like that. Highland G just mentioning there, I think Batman resurrected Roy June Death Metal. Okay, good stuff. Thanks for that, Highland G. Ian Carter, nice to see you, my friend. Hope you are well. Oh, we've got Efren just saying hi. Haven't read new books this week. We'll catch a rewind. Good stuff, Efren. Thank you very much, my friend. Okay. Night Terror's the Joker. Did you read that one, Phil?
Nope. And I've no interest. I just think it's...
I quite like that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. I think was it Andy or Charlie said it was cack, but I quite like the story in this. So in the first issue, basically Joker succeeds in killing Batman. But Batman trips over and falls off a roof and dies. So the entire premise of this series has been Joker getting a job at Wayne Enterprise and kind of becoming a 9 to 5 office worker and stuff, because that's his biggest fear. And it ends basically with, he's still got Batman's dead body in his closet. His kids finds it and stuff like that. But it ends basically with the realization that he needs Batman. They need Batman in the world. And then he wakes up. So it was all right. Do you know what I mean? Probably I enjoyed the story probably more than some of the others because I liked that kind of humor of it, I guess. Now, I think we're going to disagree on the next one. So Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer.
I read.
Oh, we're not? Okay, so I read the last series, and I thought the last series was utter dog shit. I didn't enjoy it at all. I read the first issue of this new little series, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
To be fair, I messaged you that I thought it was utter cack, and then you said it wasn't, so I think, well, I'm going to reread it. I read it again. Because, to be fair, like, you know, I was tired one night, it was quite late, and I read it just after Star Wars Dark Droids, which was really good, and it's like, oh, this is rubbish, but then I went back and read it again, and you know what? It's actually it's a Buffy book. Like it fits like the Buffy the TV show. Yeah, there's the teeny drama and stuff, whatever else, and you know, but I liked it. I did actually quite like it. Especially whenever you pardon me, you see the what's the name? What's the girl's
name? The
Tesela or
something like that. Yeah,
or something. Or Therese at some point. She's the new Slayer, and she's the daughter of Willow and Tara. Is that right? It's cool and all. I liked it. Her girlfriend on the show was obviously there's mysterious surroundings around her, isn't there? And that she may be something a bit darker. So I did like the twist and stuff, and I liked it. There was maybe a bit too much teeny drama, and I still find it uneasy with Buffy and Spike being like together in the way they are. Because again, on the TV show, they were together, but it was one of those ones like
it was an abusive relationship. Really,
they weren't nice to each other, you know.
Yeah.
And but they were really nice to one another.
Yeah,
odd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Buffy fan, and I was really looking forward to the last Vampire Slayer when they did it the last time, but it fell completely flat for me. This was all right. I enjoyed it a little bit more, so I will pick up issue 2, I think, and give it a read. But yeah. Ian's just saying Buffy's excellent. Got most of the shows on VHS. Yeah, I love it, mate. I've just noticed around in Newcastle where I am, I don't know if it's a touring thing, but there's a one-man or a one-show Buffy theatre show coming out where the main actor's Spike, but apparently he's playing all of the characters from every episode. So you get every episode of Buffy on this stage show or something.
It's the guy James Marston.
No, it's not. No, it's not James Marston. No, James Masters. Yeah, it's not him. It's someone in a white wig, but it looked all right. I might give it a shot. Comic lad Simon, I want to get this Buffy comic. Yeah, absolutely, Simon. I think you'll enjoy it, mate.
You will need to read the previous series, to be fair.
Yeah, to understand what's happening.
To understand it. But yeah, to be fair, like I didn't mind the first. It was only a 4-issue run.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So I didn't mind it as well. It did kind of fall flat in the last issue or so, but this is actually I was grumpy when I read it, but I reread it when I was happy mood. So it's good. I recommend if you're a Buffy fan, especially. Which I am, and the fact that Ian has it in VHS, I mean, that's that's incredible. That's how old it is, VHS. I watched that whole series over a dozen times. I still watch it randomly every so often.
I think it's worth. I mean, maybe I'm too old for it now. I don't know, but I tried to get my kids into it a while ago, and we watched season 1, and it was fair to say season 1 was a bit. It's not aged particularly well.
It's cheap looking, yeah.
Yeah, but then I think as it gets more in depth and more into the kind of the relationships and stuff later on, it's a phenomenal series.
Yeah.
I've got Once More with Feeling is my playlist in my car.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's an amazing episode. Probably the most standout episode, to be fair, in all of them.
Yeah. Good stuff. Peacemaker tries hard. Did you read this one, Phil?
I didn't. I apologize. I haven't read that much, but
no, it's fine, mate. It's fine.
Being book 4, I wasn't going to read the first 3 to catch up with this.
Yeah. This was tremendous. So this is written like it's directly out of the Suicide Squad movie. In fact, when I read it, I read it with John Cena's voice in my head. You know, it's just stupid and it's funny. It's genuinely funny. You know. So basically, the story is that they've kidnapped someone very. I'm not spoiling it. Kidnapped someone very close to Peacemaker. So he's going off to this island to find it's the brain from the Titans series. And it's just shenanigans all the way through. So this guy on the last page there, he gets his powers by snorting cocaine. It's
that's what I was getting a closer look at. Like, what's he doing there? So,
yeah, he's snorting cocaine. And it's if you want just a bit of an easy read, laugh, it's well worth reading. It's got some real funny bits in it. So I'm particularly enjoying that one. Not that I'm a massive Peacemaker fan or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just I like the character in the movie. And I thought I'd give this a shot. And it's worth reading just for a laugh. Highland G, I'm enjoying the Vampire Slayer book that is reimagining with Willow having taken over as the Slayer. Oh, I haven't seen that one, mate. It's more fun to read because it can't be compared direct to the show. I'll check that one out.
I think it's the main ongoing one at the minute.
Yeah.
It's about two. I think it's on 2 volumes in already. So
I'll have to check that one out. Not sure, Ian, if you're talking about the TV show, mate. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything or heard anything. Ed, crap bags, lost track of time, varnishing a table. Hope all is good. Varnishing our table, is that a euphemism? Or what were you doing? Yeah. It's not what I call it. Yeah. Okie dokie. So, yeah, recommend Peacemaker if you want something easy and stupid to read.
Because that art as well. It looks like, for some reason, I'm getting like old school, like Dandy vibes.
Well, you're through us there. I thought you were going old school, and then you threw Dandy into the mix.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
It just looks a wee bit like, you know,
Desperate Dan.
Desperate Dan. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting that kind of vibe, but yeah, like, not like really old, not the 70s, like more like the 90s stuff.
The 90s, the golden age of Dandy. Yeah. Is that what you're saying, Phil? Yeah. Ed, have I just missed more DC Nightmare? I mean, we can quickly summarize it for you, Ed. Phil, just summarize DC Nightmares for you.
Shit.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, moving on then. Right, Berserker, Poetry of Madness. I've completely slept on Berserker. I've not read any of the books, but like most good comic book collectors, I think I've got about 150 issue number ones because it was going to be the big book, wasn't it? But I ain't read any of it. So I thought I would give this a go. It's bonkers. It's friggin' mental.
But look how good it looks.
Yeah, so basically it's a story of, I mean, let's be honest, it's Keanu friggin' Reeves. You know what I mean? He's written a book or he's designed a book. I don't think he actually writes it now. Which is literally him going through time as an immortal warrior. I don't know why he's immortal. It doesn't tell you in the book, but he's an immortal warrior who can get cut to bits and bits chopped off him and stuff like that. This story is basically. Have you seen a movie called Dragon Slayer, where or Dragonheart?
No.
Where Sean Connery's the voice of the dragon, and basically, and it reminded us a lot of that in terms of Keanu's character is committed to protecting this young kid because his parents were murdered, who becomes the king of Atlantis. And then the young kid goes kind of crackers and power mad and summons monsters and demons. There's lots of blood. There's lots of chopping off bits. There's a few orgies, which was interesting. It was far more fun than I expected. So I didn't mind it, to be honest. It's made us want to go back and pick up some other Berserker issues. I quite like that gore.
I read the first volume, and from what I can remember, he is immortal, but he's hundreds of years old. It was like a curse or something. I can't remember what it was. But then it was also fast forward to modern day times, and he was essentially used as like a mercenary to go in and then clean up because you can't kill him. But if he gets injured or his arm cut off, they just kind of rehabilitate him and put him back out there, type of thing. Yeah. But they're going back in time to do, show his kind of exploits over the years.
Yeah. So this was very much set in kind of like medieval times, I guess. And I mean, at one point, his body literally gets severed in two, but it kind of grows back or something. I don't know. Yeah. But I quite enjoyed it. Again, easy. I don't know how you find current books, Phil, but there's a mix for me of stuff I can just read and literally switch my brain off and like the colourful pictures and the hitting. And then there's some books we'll come to in a bit where you've got to really think about them and try and figure it out. And I'm not quite sure at the moment what I'm enjoying. I suppose it depends what mood I'm in. We've got Chris here. Thank you for joining, Chris. Always a pleasure. Peacemaker art reminds me of Steve Dillon on Preacher. Yeah, it does, mate. It does. See, that's a better way of aligning it, Phil, than the dandy. Do you know what I mean?
Than Desperate Dan.
Need to read the 12 issues to find out why, Peter. Okay, bud. Okay, so yeah, I'm obviously missing some stuff in it, but this was a nice standalone story. Some Cracker Berserker variant covers. It's a series I've always been tempted by, but never actually tried it. Well, Fuzzy, this is a nice one-off. I don't feel lost off for not knowing the backstory and stuff. It's pretty clear he's an immortal guy who kills things. So maybe give this one a try, and if you like it, I'm going to look back and see what else I can pick up from him. It could have been told in 4 issues easily. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Fuzzy. I've never picked it up, and I might try. And Ed, with you, Fuzzy, I want to like it more than I actually do. Okay, interesting stuff. Okay, guys, moving on. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, Phil, tell me about this one, Phil, because you've read this one, haven't you?
Yes. So, and it's Pete, I've come under a lot of criticism in the nerd world when I slag off Star Wars. Right, I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I like it for what it is. I'm just not that mad about Star Wars. Tell me this: has this ever been done before? Because it seems like it should have been done before. Where essentially the droids are like, it's like AI, isn't it? Almost like they're kind of going to take over, and there's just obviously one droid that picks up these little discs or something and becomes like, an intelligent sentinel being. So he then communicates all the other droids, and now it's going to be like the droids versus the humans or the aliens or whatever. It's like, surely this has been done before. All the Star Wars stories, this is bound to have been at least considered.
So breaking the internet here. I'm much like you, Phil. I enjoy Star Wars for what it is, but I'm not an uber Star Wars geek. Do you know what I mean? I don't know my squifflers from or whatever. I think that was the right word. That's the word Ben uses. But I don't know all that kind of shit. I like science fiction films. I'm not aware of ever having seen this kind of a take on the characters and the droids. So basically, for people who are watching, Phil's just summed it up beautifully there. Really, basically, some ancient disc thing kind of spreads like a virus, doesn't it, into all the different droids, and you get this incredible scene on a Star Destroyer where basically you see it spread and then just kill everybody. And I don't know about you, Phil. I'm not a big Star Wars comic reader. In fact, I don't think I've read many, 2 or 3 books at most. I friggin' loved this. I thought this was great. I thought it was like Terminator in Star Wars for me. It was very
this
cool.
was really good. And like say, even you see Darth Vader there training, like it's not going to be the case where they're going to only kind of, and it shows you obviously Luke Skywalker with what's his one called again? What's his wee droid? That wee guy, the wee blue and white guy, C-3PO.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Don't let me know it's R2D2. But yeah, like. So it shows you like the good guys and the bad guys, but they're all going to be impacted, aren't they? Really, so it's like the droids versus everyone else. So this would get me excited, and the fact that it's not focusing on too much kind of, what's the word, like Star Wars lore. You don't have to worry about different races and rebellions and all this kind of stuff. Like I like it. I'm looking forward to see what comes off it.
So I guess that's the bit I'm interested in terms of. The guys who are more into Star Wars, if there's any of them in the comments. This is set obviously during kind of the Luke and Vader and all that kind of era. This must be like a what if or an Elseworld story or something like that, or else, because I'm kind of hoping it's not canon, because then you kind of know that nothing's going to get affected by it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of hoping that this is a what if, and next issue we're going to get people being killed and stuff.
See, that's you've just kind of highlighted. That's my problem with Star Wars, all Star Wars stuff. That, like, say, this is set at a time when obviously Luke and Leia are together, whatever else, and they're both young. And it's like, okay, so if this is set in like main continuity back then, you're right. Is this going to impact? How does it impact? Because we've already seen what happens. We're already up to date and everything. So it needs to be a what if. But again, the problem I have with Star Wars is, can they touch too much of what they've already done before by doing things like this? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it really hit the right notes, and I'll definitely be picking up issue 2. I like the idea, and I think, like you say, I'm surprised if it's not been done before, because Star Wars is just full of robots, really timely as well with all the AI stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what it is. I think that's what maybe why they thought of it. But then surely, as GP mentioned before, like Terminator, this should have been done before with the droids.
Yeah. And also, I would just say there's some stunning variant covers for this as well. Some absolutely beautiful covers to check out. Just jumping in the comments. Comic Lad Simon, this looks fun. Simon, I know you're a big Star Wars nerd, so yeah, I think you would like this one, mate. It's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Berserker art reminds me of horror comic spread. Yeah, it was very old school kind of goal. Highland G kind of. If you want to look at the art in detail, it's not very clean, if you know what I mean. The bodies don't kind of align to what a body should look like at times, but it's gory and messy and muddy, which I liked. Yeah, good stuff. Fuzzy, remember what I said about hot takes? Yep. And we've got Chris in C3PO. Looks like he's either going to varnish some tables or really damage someone. Yeah. I hope he gives. No, not I hope he gives Luke a good varnishing. I hope he kicks some ass. I do want to see them die. I know that's silly, but you know what I mean? This needs to feel like it's got some stakes for me.
Yeah. See, if it is a what if, they could do anything.
Yeah.
Killing anybody. Like Deceased for DC Comics, like just kill everybody.
Yeah.
If it's a what if.
Fuzzy, love for the scriptless. Let's see what else we've got. What, loads of comments. Sorry guys if I missed. I'm just trying to keep up and keep things going. Ed, this is a lovely R2D cover, which is nice for 2 reasons. Firstly, his lovely shiny head, and secondly, an amazingly from Marvel. Oh, it's cardstock cover. Oh, I didn't realize that. You're right, Ed. These covers are stunning. You can get, like, I think each issue's got a variant droid kind of cover, and they're absolutely beautiful with the green kind of hint and stuff like that in the eyes.
Does he have a lovely shiny head after he's varnished the table?
After the varnishing, a good buffing, yeah. Fuzzy, I picked this up, but I haven't read it yet. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, I've spoiled it there. We've spoiled it for you, Fuzzy, but yeah, good stuff. Card Fiends, yeah, I didn't realize there were card covers, mind.
Probably double the price.
Yeah, you need a mortgage for it. Yeah. Star Wars books are always good reads. Best Marvel has to offer right now. Wow, okay, yeah. James, I knew the geek would. You know what I mean? I don't believe there's a Scriffler in Star Wars. I think you've not read enough Star Wars. Yeah. And Fuzzy said, you don't remember the Scriffler and the Biffler. Absolutely, they were in the Dandy as well. And we've got Adam here. Thanks for joining. Even lads, thanks for the stream. Really enjoying it. Good stuff, Adam. Thank you very much, my friend. We've got 23 people watching, which is phenomenal. Thank you very much. Please do hit that like button and subscribe. Please also go check out the Nerd Herd, because they do some superb book reviews and content. So please check those guys out as well. So yeah, overall, Star Wars, I think would recommend that one, Phil. It's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I think this is one to watch out for. Hopefully it continues for issue 2.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting one. Sins of Salton Sea. I'd not seen this book, so I've gone back and read the first 2 issues. Oh. This is superb. I'm really enjoying this. It's an interesting story. First issue starts off with basically this guy, his brother approaches him, and he's basically escaped his life because of an incident you find out about later on. But he's a demolitions expert, and they're going on this big journey to try and stop a truck, get some money out of the truck, and make millions. And anyway, it transpires that it's not money, it's a lady and a son, a young lad. And it's a story basically about how the dad of the young lad is trying to get him back. And this guy kind of saves him and runs off with him, which I thought I was just reading a kind of pretty standard, straightforward crime kind of book thing there. And then all of a sudden they've now thrown in monster cults, and if the kid isn't killed. It's going to be the end of the world as we know it and stuff. I'm really enjoying it. It's only 5 issues, so it's a nice, quick, easy read. Fair to say, issue 3 was probably the slower of the 3 issues I read. It gives you the backstory and stuff, but it's certainly got us hooked. Have you seen this one, Phil? Are you aware of this one?
I've heard a lot of talk about it and how much everyone's. I know Andy, for example. I think he was a fan of this, and AWA stuff. There's that much coming. I don't get a chance to read all of it, but this was one I should have actually picked up. Yeah, it sounds very good. Cool.
So it is worth reading, Phil. And I think for me, AWA are doing some stunning books at the moment. I'm hard pressed to find an AWA book I don't enjoy, to be honest.
See, this is the thing. Like, AWA have their own film studio, whatever, attached to it now. So it's like pretty much everything here could be like a spec book. I don't want to drive the market up, but if you're looking for some spec books in the future, this is pick these up, because any one of them or all of them could be a movie one day or a show.
Phil, are you now officially an influencer? Is that what's happening here? You've become a formal influencer.
Well, I mean, it's one of those, like, I might try to, but if you listen to me, are you more dumb than I actually am? If you know what I'm trying to say, don't follow me, like.
But no, you're absolutely right, and I think AWA have done some stunning books, and I think the way they present books, they're always little minis, which are almost pitched for a TV show or a movie, aren't they? Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I could see this one doing very well. So yeah, well worth reading. Adam's just saying, I've read reviews on this and it looks very interesting. Definitely on my list to read. Adam, I really, really enjoyed it, mate. Like I say, the 3rd issue is a bit slower, but the first 2 issues were absolutely cracking. Ed, he really likes this as well, and Ed's got good taste. So yeah, worth picking up. Fuzzy, have to say, Phil, I really enjoyed your omnibus stream. For someone who owns no omnis or ultimate editions, I proper enjoyed it. Oh, that's fantastic, Fuzzy. Thank you very much for feeding that back, mate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
GP, Andy's been banging on about this one. Yeah, I think you mean review recommending it, not banging on. He's recommended it. Yeah. Sai, hi guys, nice to see you, Sai. Thanks for joining. I echo your thoughts about this book. It's very cool. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Dead Man sent us this today, The Ribbon Queen. I've not read that one yet, mate. That's on my list. You read that one, Phil?
No, but it's on my list too. I think it's going to be really good. So I will take it this week.
Dr. Von Hoot, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. I hope you are well. Okay, next book. Let's move on. Yeah, so sorry, again, another one that I would recommend reading. I enjoyed that one. Oh, yeah. Okay. X-Men.
I started this and give up, and I also started Magneto and give up, and I started Iceman. X-Books are just not for me. Sorry.
Yeah. Spec Guy Phil. That's a new channel for
everything. AWA.
Yeah. 25 people are watching. What the frig's going on? There's another one on TV. Again, please do. It's Phil. Yeah. Hit that like button and all the rest of it, please, guys. Okay, so X-Men 25. I've slagged off X-Men books for the last few weeks on this show. Last show was the Hellfire Gala, which was basically the hard reset for X-Men, I think, where basically now they're back to being a kind of a race that are being hunted by humans, by everybody. They're hated by everybody. They've vastly reduced their numbers, so they're down to kind of not as many as they used to be. And this picks up directly after that. Cyclops has had his spine snapped, so he's now, strapped to that thing there with Mr. Sinister. This was okay. So this I thought was okay. Couple of things I loved, a couple of things I hated. So first of all, what I really hated is that last panel I'm showing there, which is Kamala Khan. Remember she died and got better?
Yeah.
Not only that now, Phil, she's now a mutant, but now in this literal panel there, Emma Frost basically makes her family and friends, and I presume the rest of the Marvel Universe, forget that anything happened and that everything's all great and tickety-boo. So not only does a death not matter at all in terms of the comic book continuity, now nobody even knows it happened, I don't think. Which I just think is such a friggin' waste of storytelling and just an absolute cop-out. I hated it.
See that trope of killing people and bringing them back? Like, I really do wish that DC and Marvel, both the same, like, have some balls.
Yeah.
Kill somebody and keep them dead. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, both of them, like, we talked about Arsenal earlier on, like, Roy's come back, like, kill them and keep them dead? Is that how often does that happen? You know,
I mean, it's interesting you saying that, because in Hellfire Gala they literally wiped out a whole host of mutants, and
keep them
some
all
big,
dead, please. Yes.
some big name ones as well. I mean, they killed Iceman, last week. Did you read Iceman #1 this week?
Oh, he's got a big book this week.
Yeah, he got better. He got better. Took him a couple of days, but he's all right now. Bless him. Yeah. So this book was okay up till this point, and then I really enjoyed it from this point on, because Kitty Pryde goes mental. We've got her phasing guns through people's heads. She phases 2 hand grenades into people's chest cavities, and that's them exploding in the middle panel there. She's putting people's heads through the floor. It was not what I was expecting in the next book. I was there for it. I loved it. So I kind of hope they're going to continue on with this kind of more gritty side of things. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because I totally lost faith with the X-Books over the last 2 years.
Chris sums up my opinion. I cannot be bothered with the X-Books. There's too many characters, too many different books. Like you mentioned there, the Hellfire Gala, they killed loads. If they kept them all dead, that would mean there's less books for us to read. And we could actually enjoy the X-Books again. I am a fan of certain characters. I do really like Kitty Pryde. She's one of them I would like. But it's just sometimes when the X-Books get good, they generally at some point go too far with it. So like, I can't. I'm done. I'm no more. Can't do it.
Yeah. So the X universe at the moment. So my big issue with it is that it's become so big and wild. You've got planets of mutants now. You've got all the stuff with Apocalypse and his wife in a different reality or something. It just got crazy. So I think that's what Marvel have done here. This kind of reset in the Gala book last week has wiped a lot of that out. So they're back to being feared and hated. There's less of them, and they're spread all over the place again. So I think it's going to kind of try and restart. If it's like this, I'll probably pick it up, but we'll see. Dr. Von Hoot, a ringing endorsement there. It was okay. Absolutely great. JP, Hellfire Gala wasn't that bad. It was all right. Yeah, it was all right. Fuzzy, I'm excited for this one, mate. Wolverine and Predator book coming out. Yeah, that looks very cool.
Is that a mini-series?
I think it's a mini. Yeah, I'm all in for that. Yeah. Chris, as you were saying, they've reset it again. This is why I can't be arsed with the X-Books. There's enough characters to keep up with without them changing the status quo every 2 minutes. Absolutely, mate. I completely agree. This last 2 years has just been confusing beyond belief. And I've tried to review some of the comics for this show, and a lot of it is literally just an entire issue of people sat around this high council table talking in jargon I don't understand. And it's like, I haven't got I have no idea what happened in the book, because it's just mind-numbingly dull, So yeah, not the best. Fuzzy about Kamala, it's a true definition of a cop-out. Absolutely fuzzy. I think they've done her dirty, to be honest. I don't think it was well handled at all. More X shit. Magneto #1, some of the worst art in a while. This is going back in time and telling the story of what happened when Magneto was nice and was teaching the New Mutants. I quite liked it because it's got some of my favorite New Mutant characters in, but overall story was naff. What did you think of this one, Phil?
I didn't finish it. I didn't like it. It's same with Iceman. I started all 3 X books that you had here, and I just can't do it. I can't. It's like, I actually think Night Terrors is better than the current X books.
Wow. Iceman was bizarre beyond belief, and I found myself getting quite irritated with it. So like I say, literally last week, Iceman was killed. This week he's resurrected by his boyfriend, and he's got a little castle somewhere in the snow, and it's literally a castle, and he's got kind of little friends he makes out of ice. It's basically Frozen, and it was just a bizarre issue, really bizarre issue. So yeah, not for me, not a one I'll be picking up. Tenant by Jeff Lemire.
Is that part of the kind of the Bone Orchard mythos?
Yes.
Stuff?
Yeah, it is, mate. It is, yeah. Now, I quite like Jeff Lemire's stuff at times. Artwork on this is quite nice and atmospheric. this is the one I just don't understand what happened. So do you know what I was saying earlier about you can switch your brain off and some you've got to really work hard on? This were 2 issues in, and I'm not sure I know what's happening with it. I mean, I'm going to continue reading, but yeah, not. I don't know if it's for me.
Have you read the other Bone Archer stuff? Have you read the original graphic novel? See, that's why I avoided this, because I think the Bone Orchard stuff came out in the graphic novel first.
Right.
From what I understand. Maybe there was 2 volumes already before they kind of starting to release their single issues. And sometimes, I mean, I'm not comparing to the X books, of course, but sometimes when you start things too big at the start, I'm no interest. And yeah, I haven't heard anyone talk about this to say it's good, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, if I'm being brutally honest, Phil, this was on my radar because I think me and Efren talked about it on a pre-order show that we do. This came out this week, and I'd completely missed issue 1, so I've had to go back and read issue 1. So it had no fanfare or impact. I don't remember anybody talking about it or anything. So yeah, it did nothing for me. Fuzzy's just saying he read Iceman today. Awful. JP, I thought Iceman was dead. He got better. Fuzzy, I tell you what really wound me up about this, and I'm all for equality and diversity, but Iceman has got a long-standing boyfriend, and his boyfriend resurrects him in this issue, so he's living with his boyfriend, and yet the first couple of panels in this are of Bobby Drake in San Francisco, and he basically gets off with a guy that he saved, and then wanders home and gets off with his boyfriend. It's like, I don't understand why they're reinforcing the weird. I don't know. It was just very strange issue for me. It was it read like almost a teen drama kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It was odd.
See, that's why I didn't like it, because I don't like teen drama books. That's why Buffy, for example, my first read, I didn't like. Obviously, I reread it, but I wasn't going to reread X-Men. No interest.
Very odd. Now this. Did you read this?
Oh yeah. This was tough at times.
I thought it's freaking phenomenal. Absolutely. And this came totally left field. I didn't know anything about this book. So tell me a little bit about this one, Phil. What did you think of this, and what's the basic premise of it?
So, well, there's a lot going on that I can't explain. There's weird looking characters. There's this bird family, and essentially what's being asked of them, they have to make a sacrifice, which I'm assuming is their oldest child. Army comes along, takes the child off every family it passes or something. They have to do it, and this is heartbreaking because you have the family having a dinner together, and the oldest son who's in the shed wants to come in and be part of the family or whatever. And you can see his wee sister here is collecting some food for him in the bag here in this panel, and he goes out and give it to him. But the dad beats the son with the belt. I'm thinking, the dad's a dick. Like, what are you doing? But then he obviously, which is weird because the dad then defends him against this kind of people coming to take him away. And it's heartbreaking, to be honest. So it's setting up something good and interesting. In fact, these are like weird bird people, I've no idea. But this flame person as well, what kind of race they are, no idea. But obviously her dad has a big part to play. Her dad's like the king or something like this here.
So I got the impression, rightfully or wrongly, that the dad was the son. So he was powering the sun because he kind of said, he's back in time to start his job. And then you see the sun go up kind of thing. Phil's explained it beautifully there. But I think the thing that really hit for me was at the start of the story, having known nothing about this book, the whole sacrifice thing isn't explained. So you get this scene where they're sat at the table and the young lad peers through the window and the dad says something that doesn't make sense until the end of the book, where he says, how dare you kind of do that to your mum? How dare you put her through having to look at you? And then he beats him. And I just assumed that the kid was a little shit. And then at the end, when he's explained that he's the sacrifice, it makes you realize, hang on, this wasn't about him not liking his son. This was about how painful it is because he knows he's going to have to give away his kid. And how painful it is for the man. Honestly, it fucked me up. It was
That's
superb.
The thing. It's not like you're right. The dad doesn't hate the son. It's like this is going to be unbearable for everybody. So we're going to put you in the picture now. So it's hopefully easier, and it's not going to be easier, of course. And for a first issue, for something that doesn't explain a lot, It's really good. It's setting up something quite interesting, and if you can get that level of kind of what's the word, like it evokes the emotion that you're getting from it from the first issue with no details. I'm on board. So this is really good. Big fan. And the art was great, by the way.
Oh, the art was stunning, absolutely stunning. If you've read this one in the chat, let me know what you thought of it, because I thought it was a stunning first issue. And it's Rick Remender, who's a very, very good writer. Anyway, I love his work.
And I read his thing at the end. Did you read it? His letters to the, and basically he explains, like we have mentioned that we know nothing about this world or what's happening, but he's not going to explain it to you as he goes on. It's just, you'll pick it yourself bit by bit, and that's what Rick Remender's good at. He doesn't like give a lot of kind of dense, kind of what's the word, exposition. Explain everything. Like, no, you just read the story and you'll pick it up yourself. And I like it. I like that. And it's just a better way to tell a story, I think.
Absolutely. And you're right. The artwork was just stunning. I loved it. It was very, very strong. In fact, this is one of those books that I read and then I go back and I jump straight on eBay and see what variant covers there are and stuff like that, and pick up a few covers because I love, it's great. Fuzzy, what happens in San Francisco stays in San Francisco. Absolutely, mate. I think we're talking Iceman. Pigeon people. Yeah. Blue pigeon people, Pete. Blue pigeon people, Pete. I like that. Iron J sounds good. Not heard of this one. Neither had I, mate. So yeah, really worth reading. Enjoyed that one a lot. This was interesting. Have you been reading Fantastic Four, Phil?
No, but I've heard really good things about Ryan North, this run he's doing. So I keep meaning to pick up the trade for this. I've heard really good things.
Yeah, I've read a couple of the issues, and some of them are all right. Some of them are a bit ropey. I'm not sold on Johnny Storm having a handlebar mustache, I have to say. The covers are all by Alex Ross. This cover in particular just looked amazing, which was why I picked this one up. And this is a really interesting story about basically an alien race who are traveling through space, but time works differently for them. And they basically encounter every member of the Fantastic Four, but at a different time. Their time's different to our time, if you know what I mean. So each of these scenes, they're kind of seeing and they don't understand what's happening. And every 100 years, a new pilot kind of thing is brought out of status. And every year, one of them died, and they think it's the Fantastic Four that have killed them off because they keep seeing these versions of the Fantastic Four. It's complicated to explain, but it's an interesting read if you like sci-fi and things like that. I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's something I need to get into this run. Fantastic Four, it's a team I haven't never really read, to be honest. I jumped on the Dan Slott run by 3 or 4 years ago. It wasn't worth shouting about, to be honest, but I've heard this is good. I need to get on it. Check it out.
Not a bad read, that one. Yeah, this was interesting as well. Based on an animated movie from, I think, 20 or 30 years ago, Fire and Ice. Never heard of it. Not one I've seen. Basically, I got kind of Game of Thrones vibes from it. 2 warring people, a witch trying to collect young boys to turn them into magic, whatever, and then barbarians fighting and women in bikinis throwing spears at people. Artwork was phenomenal.
What do you want the comic book?
Well, exactly. Artwork was phenomenal. The battle scenes were amazing. You see in that bottom panel there, spear going through someone's throat. I really enjoyed this. I'll definitely be picking up the next issue. It was good fun. It was a good fun story. And I'll probably go back and try and catch up with the animated movie as well, because if it's anything like this, it's worth checking out, I think.
Yeah, so I was hoping to read it today, and I never got around to it. But obviously, it's out the same week as Conan was out. What's a thing quite weird? Like you kind of pick one or the other, because I think if you read both of them, you'd be really comparing the two anyway.
So that's exactly what I did. I picked this over Conan because I thought I know Conan. Do you know what I mean? What new can you tell us about Conan? Whereas this looked interesting. Oh,
I like this. You didn't like this. Like, don't get me wrong. See the whole Spider-Verse stuff and the Venomverse stuff. Like, generally speaking, they are quite trash, right? But this is essentially Carnage going through all the different kind of like the multiverse, the Venomverse, of killing all versions of Venom. But every time he kills one, he like absorbs their powers or something, or becomes a stronger sense of part of himself, whatever. I really like this. I mean, I like Carnage, I like Venom. It's not that dark. I think I like Venom when he's dark and dreary and dangerous, whatever, where this is quite, especially Carnage. Like, Carnage is a serial killer. Cletus Kasady is a serial killer, as is Carnage. But you don't get that kind of like impact in this book. It is quite kid friendly, I suppose, which is weird because Colin Bunn, like, he does horror books.
Yeah.
This should be more horrific. It's not.
I mean,
I did enjoy it.
I mean, you're not wrong, but he kills a lot of people in this.
Yeah.
But I think the artwork is not good for that. So I mean, even that bit there where that young person's getting skewered and whatnot, the artwork's quite kiddie. So you don't get the impact. I think the cover is stunning. I love that cover.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, you're right. The art lets it down. It looks more like a Spider-Man book, essentially.
Yeah.
Or it is a young reader friendly. Where you're right, he's killing people. Like,
yeah.
And this is mania, but it kind of ties into the kind of Donny Cates Venom, because their agent Venom is that universe's version of Anne, who was obviously Eddie Brock's missus. Yeah. And then obviously Varys is Mac. Well, he was Mac Gargan, or the guy who was Scorpion, wasn't he? Yeah, Scorpion.
Yeah, Scorpion.
So, I don't know if it's the same one in this universe or not, but that's who Varys is, and I like it. I again, you're right. The art doesn't help it out at all, but I liked it. I like the story.
You see that last panel there, the Symbiote 6, with a better artist, that could have looked really scary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If you look at the cover and look at that had that last panel like similar kind of to the cover.
Yeah.
Class.
It would have looked cool. Yeah. I think for me, and I know you're a big Venom Carnage fan, and I like the main character, I guess, but I think for me, this is just the same as Spider-Man and Spider-Verse in terms of it's getting too much now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of, it feels like I've seen all this before. Everybody's got a Venom costume now. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's got a symbiote. It's even friggin' Liz Allen, you know?
Yeah.
It's the
thing. It's it's kind of similar to Deadpool. If it makes them money, they will use it and abuse it until everyone's bored of it. And Venom, to be fair, kind of got to that stage. Like, everyone's been venomized, everyone's been carnagized or carnagized, whatever the word is. And you're right, it is going to be too much. But
I think Chris is probably right here. He's going to kill just the right Venoms to cull the pack and keep the money makers and fan favorites. Yeah, and you know what, Chris? I'd be happy with that. Same going back to the X-Men stuff at the moment. Far too many of them. Bump a lot of them off. Get down to a manageable amount that makes sense for me.
But in this book, there was a scene where you had Ant-Man, who's obviously their version of Venom. Yeah. And when he becomes Giant Man, and he's about to step on Carnage, and his feet is like the Venom teeth and whatever else. It was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. Dr. Von Hood, I'd rather read the back of the Shreddies books. not a fan, not a Venom fan. This is fucking amazing.
Oh, really?
I don't understand why. I've read bits of Doctor Strange over the years. I've read The Oath, which I thought was very good.
Yeah.
I've never really read his ongoing series. I picked this up when the run started, predominantly because it's Alex Ross covers. I think he's doing every Marvel comic book cover at the moment, Alex Ross. He seems to be doing an awful lot. And this was absolutely amazing. It's been done before in Doctor Who. So basically last issue, Doctor Strange is at his mother-in-law's wedding, I think, and the Vishanti, who are kind of the mystic lords, turn up with another version of Doctor Strange, who is basically the War Doctor, which is exactly what they did in Doctor Who a few years back. John Hurt was War Doctor. Uh-huh. This issue tells the story of what that was all about, and basically it's years ago, the Vishanti went to war with, I can't remember the name of the other kind of three entities, and they needed Doctor Strange to lead their army, and they promised they would put him, once the fight was finished, they'd put him back before he left, kind of thing, so he wouldn't lose any time, and they stopped him from aging and all that kind of stuff. And this one tale, because it's a self-contained story in the book, basically tells the story of Doctor Strange going through, I think it's, what's the idea there? Yeah, 4,000 512 years of battle, and it breaks it into like first 10 years, first 100 years, and it's just a beautiful story about the horror of war and what impact it has. So he goes through the vast majority of the start of the book telling people keep calling him General Strange, and he keeps saying, no, I'm a doctor, don't call us General. When they capture prisoners, he's kind of like treat them with kindness and stuff like that. By the end, he's insisting people call him General because he's not a doctor anymore. And when they capture people on the battlefield, he's like, just kill them, I can't be arsed anymore. His best friend, who's been working with him all the time, turns against him, so he has to bump him off as well. And then at the end of the book, when he's just about to claim victory after this, these thousands and thousands of years, the Vishanti stop him and say, actually, we've made a deal with the other guys and everything's all right, so just forget it, move on. And he's like, well, no, I want to kill them. I've spent 5,000 years doing this. And they're like, no, just fuck off. Just, and it kind of ends. He's going to continue on into the series, but it was a stunning story. I really, really enjoyed it. Worth reading it.
Jed MacKay's the writer in this, and he's at Marvel at the minute. He's done Black Cat, he's done this, he's on the Avengers book. He's actually proved himself to be a quite capable and consistent writer type of thing. So he's one I would follow a lot, and this is on my radar to pick up the trade or something just to read through this.
I think if you're like me, if you've not read a lot of Doctor Strange and you're a bit hesitant about picking up like a new ongoing, I would just recommend picking up issue 6 because it's a standalone story and you can just get a flavour for the writing. And if you like it, continue on. It ends basically with Doctor Strange as the War Doctor is going to be part of the ongoing series, I think, because they need him to fight another battle.
I'm the same as you. I've read The Oath, and I read some hideous Doctor Strange book we had for the Nerd Herd a couple of years ago. It was terrible. I think I give it 2 out of 10. That's how bad it was. But the only other thing with Doctor Strange is Strange Academy, really.
Yeah. I've not read that, but this is well worth a read. I'd recommend picking this one up. There's a really fucked up part where basically they start taking because like I say, he goes mental. They start taking body parts off their enemies and grafting them onto their soldiers that have lost body parts. It gets quite dark. Did you read this?
No, I had no interest. I mean, I collect Spider-Man every let's go say every month. It's every flipping week at the minute. Yeah. There's a book coming out, and I like having a collection of the Amazing Spider-Man, including the annuals. But it's not even written by the current writer. I don't like annuals, if I'm being honest.
I don't.
They're usually dog trash.
I don't either, to be honest. Vast majority of them are shit, aren't they? Yeah. I'm a massive fan of Hallows Eve, which is this character on the front there. I really enjoyed her mini-series. This was kind of...
That's finished? Hallows Eve?
Yeah, it finished last week or the week before. This was kind of sold as the next stage in that story, which is I basically going to try and rescue Ben Reilly. And it's just crap. It's just awful. There's no kind of resolution to anything. She goes into, because she's in limbo, I think, goes into limbo. Spider-Man, for no reason at all, kind of ends up in there with her. And then they get kicked out. That's about it. And she can't ever go back. So it felt like a real disservice to the character on the back of the last miniseries, which was really, really good. And then there's a follow-on story, like part 2, which is where I think MJ's Aunt Anna or something that's mentioned a lot in the comics goes crackers and tries to kill everybody. So,
I mean, hot take, similar to Star Wars. Do people like Ben Reilly? Because I really don't. I really dislike Ben Reilly, to be honest.
I liked him when he first came out. I loved the whole Scarlet Spider kind of. I liked his costume and stuff. I haven't read any of the recent stuff with him. I picked up a couple of issues of, is it Dark Web? And I just couldn't cope with it.
That's ridiculous. It's from the Dark Web run there, a purpley black green thing on.
Chasm or something he's called it. And there was something about some big monster version of Spider-Man running around it just did nothing for us. So no, I ejected from that one, I'm afraid. Von Hoot is saying interior art is trash. Yeah, it's very shit. Phil, you've not read this one.
No, and it's on my list, and I wanted to read it. It looks really good. I like all the What If dark stuff, like they had the Spider-Gwen one a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, this looks good. I'll have to catch it tonight.
So I'll not spoil it for you then.
No, spoil away. It's fine. I'll forget it probably anyway.
You sure? Fuzzy saying he didn't enjoy it. Oh, Dark Web. Sorry, Dark Web. Yeah, got you, Fuzzy. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant this book. Yeah, I did. I only read a couple of issues, Fuzzy, and it was just, yeah, not for me. Now, this What If Dog Venom? This basically picks up where it's after Secret Wars, and Reed Richards is experimenting on the alien costume, and basically Ben Grimm gets it, and it's a great story. So Ben Grimm gets it. He has a bit of a fight with Reed. The lizard then gets involved, and then it takes a real dark turn later on. And I'm sorry, Phil, spoilers. You'll see there the lizard with the venom symbiote eating Reed Richards. It was a fun read, a good one shot. I'd recommend picking this one up.
I love the way you show this panel of the lizard like chomping off Reed Richards' neck. Oh, it was a fun read. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. See, to be honest, Ben Grimm, like it's one of them ones that, again, Fantastic Four. I can't speak for those runs, but I think Ben Grimm has been in like a limited series or like a one shot. He's really cool. I really like him a lot. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to read this, and I'll probably pick it up as well. That I want to get all the what if dark stuff.
There's been some good ones. And to be fair, Ben Grimm's latest series, Clobbering Time, I really enjoyed. Again, switch your brain off, easy read. And I think there's no getting away from the fact he looks very cool there with the Venom costume on. It looks good. Fuzzy, I wish they did something great with Ben Grimm. I love it. Yeah, me too, mate. I would recommend Clobbering Time, Fuzzy, because that is a fun mini series. But you're right, he needs more spotlight, I think.
I just thought of a good theme for one of your Art Attack shows. Venomized characters. Venomized DC characters.
There we go. Oh, Venomized DC characters. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, I like that. Let's have a think about that one. That's it. Is there any I've missed, Phil? Is there any that I haven't mentioned that you've read?
I read Conan, the Barbarian. Again, like you said, you pick it or Fire and Ice. Pick between the two, essentially, because they're very similar themes, I suppose. And I read Conan, but I was worried about it being bogged down with all what's been before type of thing. But obviously, Conan's one of those ones that bounces between different publishers. Marvel had him for the last few years. It's now Titan Comics. I think are they British? Are they English?
I think they were British, weren't they? Because was it not Titan that did Eagle and stuff like that? I think.
Yeah. But either way, like it didn't even. It kind of. There was one sentence where it referred to he's been on his adventures for the last hundreds of years, doing all these different things and been all over the world. So it's kind of that touching on him being at Marvel. Now he's here, and essentially what it is, it doesn't bog you down with too much Conan backstory, but he's in a bar or a what do you call bars and tavern, yes, and someone comes to warn him there's this army coming. It's essentially like an army of the dead, so it's a wee bit like Deceased. An army of zombies coming along, and he obviously battles through them. But it's really good, and it's almost like it looks like a real like Silver Age kind of book as well, like really old school comic book. And I like the way they've done it. I am a fan of it. I can't say I'm gonna. Well, I think I will read issue 2.
Yeah.
To see where it goes. But
I mean, I'll probably go back and read that one because I do like Conan, to be honest. I haven't read a lot of them for a long, long time, but I do like that kind of. I like that barbarian adventure kind of stuff, particularly if it's a bit grim and gritty, Yeah,
this is grim and gritty, and the battle scenes are great, the fight scenes are great, but like I say, it doesn't bog you down too much, so you don't need to worry about what's gone before. This is telling a simple story, but he's just kicking ass, and you can tell he's kind of forming a team because the person who comes to warn him about this dead army, him and her, like joined forces to fight the army and so forth, and then they're going to where's he from?
Is it Crom or something?
Crimea or something, or Marie. I don't know how to pronounce it for you. But so they're going there to basically to fight this army, but it's too late. They're already there, and that's where it ends. So it's really good, really interesting. Really enjoyed it. some good.
I'll pick that one up. I'll pick that one up because I do like a bit of Conan. Dead Man's just saying Grim Noir was very good. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. Dead Man, that's a good call, mate. Fuzzy Red, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday. Oh, I missed that one, Fuzzy. You didn't see that one. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, because I do like a bit of. I've been reading again. Guilty pleasure, Fuzzy. Similar kind of theme. I've been reading the. I think it's IWA. What you call it, Dungeons and Dragons cartoon comic book. That's been quite good. So that was good fun. Was it IW? Can't remember.
IDW.
IDW, yeah. But that's been, again, nostalgia overload. Good fun. Gary B's quote on the back of the Conan book, and he didn't know anything about it. Naturally, he was ecstatic. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, good stuff. But he's over the moon. Okay, guys, just before we call it a night there, again, 20-odd people watching. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you spending time with me. Please do hit that like and subscribe button on both my channel and Phil's and the Nerd Herd. And please do go check them out. What you got again on Wednesday, Phil? You got Do a Powerbomb, is that right?
Do a Powerbomb by Daniel Warren Johnson. Going to take the top spot of somebody who's got the top spot currently. Some dweeb.
I mean, technically, if I watch and give it a 1, that'll screw you over, won't it?
If you give it a 1, I will find some way to destroy your
tactical voting. Yeah.
I will hack your channel and I will delete all your subs. Put all these numbers. Yeah.
Listen, I just want to say a massive thank you to Phil for joining, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Tomorrow night, guys, as we said, we've got our spotlight show on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're going to be looking at their history, the media, the merchandise, and the reads. And we're also going to do a little bit of a review of the latest cartoon and movie of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is superb. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's your whack. Thank you very much for joining. Always a pleasure. And Phil, like I say, a massive thank you to you, my friend. It's always fun spending time with you. Okay, guys, final plug. Please do check out the Nerd Herd on Wednesday. Seriously, I know it'll knock me off the top spot, but Do a Powerbomb is an amazing read. So if you haven't read that yet, get on it, get it read, and make sure you join the Herd on Wednesday night to talk about that book because it's amazing. Okie dokie. Thanks very much, Phil, and thank you everybody in the comments. We'll catch you next time. Bye.